Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to my latest video. Welcome back to my latest video? That doesn't make sense. Never mind that part. Just welcome. Welcome to my video. What are we doing today? Well, we are still working on the Tamiya F-4J Phantom. That's today. Well, this is 1/32 scale kit, and we're getting there. We are getting there. I have been working on decals all week. There we have it. I'm still not done with the decals because there are quite a bit, and haven't really had too much time in the evenings to really seriously get into a decal session, if you will. So putting on like 4 or 5 decals every night and being done, kind of thing. But it's coming along. We're getting there. We got some progress made, and yeah, we're getting there. Still got basically the back half of the plane here to do, and all the little nose steps and stuff that go on the tops of the wings. And of course a great big ass marines that goes along the back here. But I'm gonna put those on probably last because I keep picking it up by the fuselage right there. And I don't want to keep on grabbing onto the decal while I'm doing that. Yeah, that's pretty much what I've been doing so far. I will have a criticism of the decals. So you got these, and of course these are just like these ones here that go along the sides, like that. But I don't like huge decals because it's so easy to wrinkle. But these ones along here, they actually turned out pretty good. I do use the Tamiya Mark Fit Strong, or Super Strong, I guess it is, on them to get them to really sink down, especially into the panel lines, to just make it more realistic look. So that's another thing why it takes so long. But it does do a good job, especially like on these big decals, like on this thing. That's a big decal to put on the tail fin. This is all one decal, right? This whole thing, and it turned out really good. But what I do tend to do, as it's kind of shrinking the decal down and making it suck down into the panel lines just a little bit, as it's working, as it's trying to do that to the decal, I'll take my knife and I'll run my knife along that edge and actually cut the decal along that panel line, and that just helps. Now you've got one solid piece, but now it's two, so it can just suck it down like that into the panel line a lot easier, and it just makes it, in my opinion, it makes it a little better look, because you know, when you've got two panels, think of your car doors. You definitely distinctly see that line in between, you say, your front fender and your door panel. There's that gap, and the paint is not in that gap. You don't see that. It's just a black line. And so that's what I like about doing that. It gives that impression that these two panels were painted on the outside. There's no paint in between, and so you get a dark line. I'll show you on this camera here. I'm going to take my piece of cardboard, hold it up, and help get this thing to focus. You see it most prominently on this line here, that it's black going down there. It's just a lot easier. I like the fact that the decal is physically separated, rather than just like doing an accent color panel line or a wash and just painting that line black. I like the fact that the decal is actually separate. It's just me. I like it that way. And so that's what I do. Like, put this big honking decal down. I wait a few minutes, wait till the water, it's kind of dry, and then I take this, slather it all over the decal, wait about 5 minutes or so. It's starting to dry a little bit, and then I just take my knife. Where is my knife here? And I just take my knife and just run it just right along the panel line. Just doink and doink, and one in there and there, and then I let it sit. And I'll put more of this stuff on, and just to help it suck it down even more. And I might even do 2 or 3 coats of the Mark Fit, and it turns out pretty good. And I get decals that really suck into the panel lines really nicely, and that's been my experience with that so far. So that being said, what am I actually working on today? It's not this. Today we're doing the seat belts. That's what I'm going to do. So I showed you guys last time that I got the seat belts done on this one. So I'll show you here again. This seat is done. It's all finished and got all the belts on there. Nicely done. So I'm going to duplicate this seat. This one. And so I have the photo etched belt set. You see I got a few left over on this one that I did not use, because I don't really need to do absolutely every single belt. So, plus there's a couple of things, like there's the pull handle that's on the side of the seat here that I have painted. It's kind of dark out right now, so I can't really see. This one here. You can actually create that piece. It's here on the set, right there above my finger there. Okay. You take that out and you kind of fold it, and then now you actually have that. So this instructions tells you to cut this off of here and use this piece. But I figured, I already went through the trouble of painting that. I'm not going to cut it off of there. I'm not going to use this one. So, that being said, we're going to put some decals on. So, I learned my lesson trying out the other glues, and so I'm going with the CA glue and a toothpick. It's kind of a thicker CA glue. This one is the gap filling medium. So it's not super thin, it doesn't run around and just pour everywhere on you, and that's what I like about it. So we have a couple of things here. Have I cheated and put any decals on this? I put one belt on here. Decals. I put one belt. It's like decals, they're thin enough. But I need to get, I'm going to change my glasses, because these things are small and tiny, and yeah. Okay, so we're going to start off with a little decal that goes on the side. I call it a decal. It's not a decal. So I just take my knife, and all I gotta do is just put a little pressure down on the little, it's almost like a little tiny wire that holds these things onto the sprue. And there we go. So we've got one tiny little piece here that's going to be hard to pick up. It's like that, tiny little guy, and it just goes on the side under this little panel here. So I'll take this off. I'll just dip my toothpick in. Now, I'm not gonna, this video is gonna be a little bit different than my normal videos. Normally I don't edit my videos very much, and I let you guys see absolutely every little thing that I do, and let you decide what you want to see and what to fast forward through if you don't want to see certain parts, or if you're like, yep, that part's boring. Yeah, so what I'm going to do, although of course I'm live on Twitch, so I am recording everything, but when I upload this on YouTube, I'm going to cut and paste and kind of just do highlights, so that, or not even highlights, but you know, this is done, boom, 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 and so you can just get kind of a, I don't know, a shorter version of everything. Okay, there's a couple of pieces that go on the other side of this cushion that I didn't bother doing on the other seat, so I'm not going to do it on this one. Just because, even though they're there in real life pictures of the seat, didn't really notice them, and I didn't really want to layer a bunch of things, because they'd go on here, and then you're going to put a couple of belts over top of them, and I don't want to do that, so I'm not going to bother. So we've got these two little super tiny little belts that wrap around on each side of the top cushion, and I've already done one. I just need to do the other three. So let's get them off of here. With it being so dark out today, I should get another light. Okay, so I just took two of them off. We'll just do two for now. There's one. So I kind of pre-bend them a little bit on the one edge to get it to fit over the bend of the cushion. Now probably, is this going to be my thing? Did that actually fall and drop? It definitely fell off. I dropped it. Ah, there it is. That's the problem with working with such tiny parts. Okay. So I got an idea of where it's going to go. I think we're doing all right. Okay. So just make sure this is clean. All right. So that's our 4 belts that go over the top cushion. Let's see if I can show you on this camera here. See those 2 little gray belts over the top of the cushion? That's them. Okay. And 2 on that side too. If I can get this to focus. It will focus eventually. I can get it up there nice and close and it will focus eventually. It's just a little slow. No? You don't want to do it? Fine, screw you. Anyway. Okay. So, our next belts, they kind of go along the top here, and then they twist to come down and go in that little hole. In the hole here, right there, in between the 2 cushions. And that's fun, sort of. Now that's number 1. So which one was number 1 on here? I think that's this one. Yes, it is. It's this big one. Now the fun part about this is you're actually going to take 2 other pieces, glue them onto this, and then you glue it onto the seat. Okay, so I'll show you that. So we take number 1 and we take number 2, and we've got 2 pieces of number 2, but we'll take number 1 off here first. Now, with the other seat, I actually had a heck of a time trying to get the pieces to glue and be twisting and not separate. That was not a real fun experience for me, trying to get that with the other seat. Which is why I never bothered to record it. Just because that was my experimental thing. And like I said, it took me a long time to finally get the seat belts on that seat. It was a long process. So I have to take this tiny little piece here and I glue that onto the edge of this. Now, in my experiments with the other belt, this didn't turn out very well. It's okay, but it definitely wasn't perfect. So I just need to, I didn't trim this one close enough. There we go. That looks better. So, like I mentioned before, the only glue that I found, the glue that I have that glues the metal to the metal is the CA glue. The others, like this glue, no. This glue, no. Didn't work. Now, there's the white Elmer's glue that I see people use. I really don't understand how that glue works because it's made for wood. So obviously I'm not using white Elmer's glue. So I don't want to get glue underneath of it, so just doing that. And then I'm going to grab this. Just like that. Now I do kind of want to press them together real quick there, just to make sure they are squeezed and as one piece. Just like that, okay? So that's on there. So, now grab the other one. Gotta have it facing the right way. Got that done. So now we've got the belts. This belt is ready to go. I'm going to try and get this thing. I'm going to zoom again and get that on there. That's basically what it looks like. I'm trying to get it in there. Okay, so what I actually have to do, because this top piece here, if I get this, put this in, this top piece goes actually up on the top of the seat here like this, and then it has to twist as it comes down. As it comes down and actually goes into there. So it's right at about this midpoint is where it needs to twist. So it's very easy to twist because it's so thin, right? Just do this and just do this and just twist it. I gotta do it this way. Kind of where it sits. Of course, it's typical. It's an add-on thing, and it's not. The seat wasn't designed to have it on there, so it kind of looks a little, I don't know, scuffed, I guess, where it actually attaches. But that's okay. So now we'll do the other side, and it's going to go pretty much in the same spot, just on the other side. That's quite all right. Okay. So I've got them both on both sides now. And now, of course, you have to bend this down to go inside that little pocket, right? And that's the fun part. So if the glue is not held, it's not holding, it's not set, it's, well, bending it down is going to put a lot of pressure on those to just pop them right back up, right? And of course, is my glue perfectly dry? I don't know. But we're going to try bending this down. Without putting too much pressure. Glue that in there yet, because there's other pieces that actually glue to this little square piece, belts that go in there, and that's that. So next we have part of the I don't know, it's part of the ejection emergency thing that goes in front of the crotch on the front of the seat. So this is number 27. That's this piece here. Will you focus? Yay! Okay, 27. Now actually fold this guy in half. So what I do is just kind of put my tweezers along the line where I need to fold it. Although the quality of this kit, where you need to fold them, is almost like they've pre-creased it for you, so it folds exactly where it needs to fold. And we'll show you once we get to the buckles and stuff like that. So there's it folded now, folded together. Now I could glue it just like that, but there's going to be enough glue on. It's kind of just an added detail that you're probably never going to see, but it's kind of like, well, you know it's there. And so it goes right on in the middle on the front of the seat there. That piece on the front there, right in the middle, just like that. And I keep putting my fingers in the way. So that's what we got so far. So now we got buckles to make, and those are fun. I'm sarcastic. So I'm going to take number 28. Number 28, where are you? There's 3 of them here, and they are very tiny. Well, let's face it, everything in this little kit is tiny. On the right, I've got it trimmed where it needs to be. This has little lines that cut through it because we're going to take this flat piece and go bend, 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 and turn it into a little square. Okay, so I have my little square now built, and that gets to go through a belt. Now, does the square actually need to be glued together? A little dab of glue on there would probably help it a little bit. Apart on me. So there we go. So now we take number 14 belt, and that is this thin, skinnier belt. So this belt here goes through and comes up. So we have one end got a little hollow point in it, and the other is solid. And it's the solid end that's going to go through. But I got to trim, I didn't trim it quite close enough. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to kind of pre-fold. And then we put our little loop on there and just drop it down on there. Belt, little loop thing at the bottom. They kind of bend a little bit, and these two top pieces, they go into that little pocket. Grabbing the wrong seat. So those are going to go onto this piece here in the middle. So I'm going to get some glue. Put it onto here. Okay, those are glued on in a weird way, but they're glued on. So now we got to do another one. Alright, so we got our buckle on. Now these two need to get glued onto that same spot. So I'm just going to put glue on these two latches. While I'm letting those sit for a minute, we're on to the next page. There is one piece that goes on the side of the seat that's right here. I'm not bothering with that. It's not a seat belt. I don't give a shit. Now, we got two belts that go from the top here down to the little sides. Those are number 15. They are two small little belts. These ones aren't too hard to deal with. So the top where there's a little buckle, that just bends to sit on the top of the cushion, and then as it comes down, it just kind of slowly, you twist it to get to the outside. And that's all it is with this one. Which is not a big deal at all. Except you get a certain length and it wants to go, they want you to attach it right to the top of this little loop thing here on each side of the seat, but these are actually longer and they'll go hang down further, and so that's not what we want. Now that these are finally together in there, I want to get this tucked inside that little thing and stay there where it belongs. I actually mean I want to make it messy. It's just, I want it tucked in there where it belongs. So I'm just going to hold it like this for a sec. There we go, it held that time. Okay, so finally got those in there. Let's show you. Pain in the ass work that I've done to get those belts, those two little belts there in the middle, and get those in that pocket and get them sitting in there like they're supposed to. So now we have these. So I got this one kind of bent already at the top. It needs to be bent more. It's a pretty sharp bend, and it literally just sits in a very, I keep on dropping things and I think I'm accidentally pulling a belt off. It sits on the very top of this cushion here. Just kind of tucks in right there, and then goes all the way down. I can get a measurement of it. I can get a decent measurement of how long it is, how it needs to be. I just kind of sitting it on there. But, so this one's going to go on this side, so I want it to twist out like that. I can always trim it afterwards, right? That's not going to be a problem. Where did my toothpick go? That's where my toothpick went. Shit. I'm gonna get another toothpick. Really? Alright, so where was I? So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the top of this and I'm going to attach it to the seat cushion. It just goes right on the corner there. And we're going to be nice and cooperate. This one seems to be set, so now I can just take it and kind of put it down into the spot it needs to go. I'm gonna have to take my glasses off for this. Son of a bitch. You know, when you figure you can get away with something and then you don't, just fucking grr. So, frickin' stay on there now. Okay, let's try cutting this again. Now, these things, this stuff is so thin, it doesn't really cut. My nippers don't even cut it. All it kind of does is crease it. So, since this wants to come off anyway, because it's a freaking asshole, there. Okay, let's re-glue this fucking thing. Okay. We're gonna let that sit. Okay? We're gonna let those sit for a minute while I look at these other belts. Okay? That's what we're gonna do while those are drying. And meanwhile, I'm gonna put this, close this up. In fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna end it here. This will be part 1 of the belts, part 7 of the build of the plane, but this is part 1 of the belts, and I'll do a part 2 because I'm gonna end it here. These things are frustrating as heck, and I'm just getting frustrated with it, and I don't want it to turn out to be a bad thing. You just need to have lots and lots of patience when working with these. Like I said, this seat got assembled over the course of like 3 days. That's how much time it takes and how much patience you need. And I'm trying to do this and get this done within an hour or two, and it's just not working out. So, yeah, I'm done for today. I'm not going to do anymore. That's going to be it. And that way I can let this dry and set and be done, and then they won't be pulling off and falling apart on me. And that'll be it. So, you guys who are watching me on YouTube, you guys who've subscribed, you guys are really awesome. Thank you so much for all you guys. I do read every comment on every video that I have, even if I don't respond to all of them. I do read them all. So you guys are really awesome. The encouragement I get from you guys is really just, thank you so much. If you are watching this on YouTube, why not head over to my Twitch channel and follow me on Twitch. That would really help me out a lot. That's www.twitch.tv/duplicitous_29. If you can't actually watch me live on Twitch because of time differences or whatever, feel free to head on over to my Twitter, and you can message me on Twitter and I'll respond. You can talk to me on Twitter too. And if you want to see still pictures of my builds that I've done, because every time I finish a build, I take a bunch of pictures of it and I post it up on my Instagram. And so you can check out still shots of my stuff on Instagram too. So I want to thank you guys a lot. Thanks for following me. Thanks for the comments. You guys are really awesome. I will put links down in the description box of my Twitch and my Instagram and Twitter and all that good stuff. So for now, we're just going to end it for today. Working on the seat belts, and yeah, slow, frustrating, painstaking process, but the end result does look really, really good. I will give it that. It just takes lots of patience. So anyway, I'll end it with that, and thank you guys again for watching, and thanks for coming out. And we'll see you all in the next video.